Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 12th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. As of yesterday morning, you can see that marine layer creeping into portions of Vancouver Island, western Washington. You can see some of the valleys into the Olympic Mountains and Vancouver Island, pushing all the way down into the Columbia River here as well. And as we scroll through the late morning and afternoon hours, you can really see that marine layer burn off for much of the region. But look down across here, the Cal Fire here across some of central eastern Oregon. You can really see those flames out there, and actually had some pyrocumulus clouds. The updrafts are strong enough. The heating is enough from the flames here to actually produce clouds above it here. And sometimes those pyrocumulus clouds can actually kick off thunderstorms of their own and continue to fire off fires with those dangerous lightning strikes. And you can see in the overnight hours, look at the hot spot there on the GOES 18 satellite imagery as that just continued to burn all night. Now we come into this morning and you can see the copious amounts of smoke being produced by that fire. And then you can see also the marine layer along the coastline creeping in towards Olympia this morning as well. But you can see it's already starting its burn back here as we start to head towards the noon hour. It's about 10 a.m. as I'm doing this briefing right now. Taking a look at the fires here again, there's that Cal fire here out there. I think, what is it called? It is the Cal Valley fire. And you can see we've got a few other smaller fires out there as well. And we still have the Pioneer fire there across Washington. It's producing less smoke than it was a few days ago, however. And that one across the Cascades name is the Shoe Fly fire. Now, taking a look at Spokane National Weather Service, you can see we are going to go through a gradual cool down as we get on in towards Monday. Not a huge cool down, but you guys know how to beat the heat out there. 4:15 a.m. This was issued this morning. Taking a look at Seattle, what a stretch of weather so far. Three straight record highs there, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We almost got there on the 10th, finished about 2 degrees below that 90-degree reading at 88, and still some warm weather for a while. But we're not going to be setting record highs here over the next few days for Seattle. No precipitation to speak of yet so far. We don't average that much for the month of July anyway. Taking a look at Pendleton, Oregon, some very dangerous fire conditions are going to be apparent over the next few days, and including the potential for lightning-driven fires out there. So I'll be showing you guys some of that as we go through the video this morning, and we'll take a look at this over the next few days as well. But right now you got this critical burn environment out there across portions of southeast Oregon. This brown hatched here is for isolated dry thunderstorm activity. So those are the thunderstorms that don't have much precipitation with them, and those lightning strikes can start fires. And the issue is tomorrow we have some of this thunderstorm activity moving up across this region. So, high potential there for some new fire starts. And if we go to day 2, you can kind of see that the elevated risk with the isolated dry thunderstorm, the lightning potential there across southeast Oregon. So yeah, heads up for that. And of course, we've been dealing with this record-breaking historic heat wave here across much of the west coast of North America. Finally backing off, of course, for Seattle, Portland, and the valley areas there, but still some heat advisories out there. Now, this is day 1 thunderstorm outlook, and day 2 is the one we want to watch. And the thunderstorms start moving up into Oregon. And by chance, if you want a nice, affordable home weather station, it's got its own lightning detection system with it. It builds its own forecast for your location, stores all the data for you in the cloud. You can click on any one of these individual parameters, and it builds graphs for you. And I can go back and look at people who's had these stations for more than 2 years, and you can see all the data just ready to go. And it has this nice interactive map. You can click on any one of these locations and see all the data there if you want, and scroll back into the history of that weather station. And yeah, interesting stuff. You can see a lot of people around the Seattle and Portland Metro. Spokane have the stations as well. So yeah, highly recommend that station. Very attractive unit, great smartphone app again. Now, taking a look at the GFS, let's take a look. This one is hot off the presses. So there is going to be a huge ridge building up here across Canada. It looks like, at least that's what the models are saying. And this is the start of that ridge here. So we're going to get a bit warm as we go through the next few days, but this ridge is fairly transient. It's going to push inland here, and as that axis does, it's going to keep some of the onshore flow, keeping us just cool enough. We're not going to be setting any record highs here for the Pacific Northwest, at least west of the Cascades. However, once you go inland a bit more here, this is a pretty impressive ridge that we'll be developing as we go on in towards next week. And yeah, you can see that extend well up into Canada and across the Intermountain West here, down towards Utah, Wyoming, Nevada, Idaho, and Montana. But look at the GFS wants to start throwing a couple systems here, or a system at the west coast of North America, the Pacific Northwest, I should say. And you can see this would be a very well-placed system here, but we're looking at over 200 hours out. So you got to take that with a grain of salt right now, but that would be glorious. Are we lucky enough to have a storm like this roll through near the end portion of July. We'll see. We'll be watching that daily. Let's see what yesterday afternoon's European model has to say about that. So as we scroll on into the next few days, you can see a pretty good agreement with that ridge kind of building up across Canada here, but it's going to be far enough east where it will keep places like Seattle, Southwest BC, and Portland with some onshore flow and cool things down a bit, especially compared to what is going to be going on across portions of Canada down towards Montana. Now we scroll through there. This is probably the same upper level low or the same troughing that the GFS is talking about, but you can see it does not show it getting that close. As you know, it's not a well-positioned storm here, so it would be cooling us down a bit. You'd be getting onshore flow with this, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see if the models can come into some agreement with that long-range trough. It's a purely fantasy forecast as of right now. Now, Seattle Tacoma International Airport, check it out. Look at Sunday, 88 again here coming up. This is the European. Sometimes underdoes these temperatures a little bit here. So getting again warm here as we go through Sunday, and then we start to kick maybe a little bit of onshore flow back here by the time we get towards Monday. We'll see how that goes. This is, again, I like to show this cross section here. This would be the surface. This is 10,000 feet. These are the temperatures, and you can see the diurnal heating. So the sun goes up and down, and you can see those temperatures rise and ebb and flow here. And then maybe that trough starts to come in the later period here and cool us down a bit more. This is the Tri-Cities. It kind of looks like a blowtorch out there in the summertime for eastern Washington. And this is the Tri-Cities as well. At least we're not looking at 110 anymore, but we still have the potential for some warmer days as we scroll on in through July 20th or so. Portland International Airport, still looking at some moderate and maybe even some high wet bulb globe temperatures out there. So if you're out there doing outdoor construction or sporting events, whatnot, stay well hydrated, take breaks, because we're still dealing with some pretty uncomfortable temperatures out there. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You can see the above average signal here, no doubt, because of that ridge that I showed you setting up its axis a little bit across the Intermountain West here and up into Canada. Here's a 6 to 10 day. I mean, what's that? Is that showing that troughing out there? They think we're going to be above average. We'll see how that goes. This is the 7-day significant fire potential here, and they're on top of it. They see that lightning potential here coming up for Saturday and Sunday here across NW 11, 12, and 7, mainly eastern Oregon here for those lightning starts. Critical burn environment also for the next few days on and through next week for NW 11, including some of the Blue Mountains there. And, don't sleep on these places where you're dealing with moderate and elevated as well. You could still get fire starts across much of the Pacific Northwest this time of year. Anyway, I got my kidney stones removed yesterday. Still feeling a little bit groggy, a little bit better than I was yesterday, however. And hopefully that will be the last I have to deal with kidney stones. I'm going to try to make sure my diet is not conducive to producing those anymore. I didn't know that spinach was such a big kidney stone producer. I used to eat huge amounts of spinach. And if you look at the oxalate values of spinach versus other foods, it's just off the charts. And I used to eat huge amounts of spinach every single week. So I have a feeling that was why I was getting kidney stones here over the last few years. So change my diet up a little bit here and hopefully continue to hydrate well and avoid those for the future, because getting them removed is not fun. And I have a stent in my left side right now, so I have to stay in there for a week, so it makes things uncomfortable as well. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos otherwise, and don't mean to turn this into a medical channel about kidney stones, but anyway, we'll do this all again tomorrow. We'll continue to watch to see if that trough's going to be trying to swing through here as we go on in through the extended forecast. We'll see if the models can come to some kind of agreement. And so we'll do this all again tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you then.